Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cher, aka That Girl Cher, and this is a soft glam tutorial. And I tested out a rare beauty products. So let's go ahead and get started. So originally this is a IG live that I did, but I converted it into a video and just decided to do a voiceover. So right now I'm cleaning my face with a makeup wipe. I had done a skincare routine earlier in the day, but I was just cleaning the oil off my face before I got started since this was later in the day. And I'm just brushing my brows. I just like to shape them to give myself an idea of what my finished face is going to look like. I don't actually put makeup on them until later. And yes, I actually prime and set my face at this beginning. So that was the I forgot what the water is called, but it's a primer and a setting spray. So I prime my face with that, and I'm going right in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade I believe it's Mocha, and I'm putting it on my chin, down the center of my nose, in the middle of my forehead. And then I go right behind it with my concealer, which is the same line of Born This Way, in the shade Mocha. So it's Mocha and Cocoa. I know that's really confusing. This is why we should just use numbers instead of naming things after food. So you see I went back in and put some concealer on my upper lip. Sometimes I have this problem of my skin, not being the same shade of brown. That's normal. And I had also been out in the sun a lot, so I had to do a little bit extra work to blend my face down to make everything back to the same shade. And as you can see, I'm doing my face first instead of my eyes, because my eyes really weren't the focus, the skin was. I did test out a Rare Beauty palette, which you're going to see me use later, one of the smaller ones. But I just was getting on just to do my makeup just for the sake of doing it. So you see I'm using a beauty blender to blend everything down by patting it. And that beauty blender is wet, by the way, it's damp. I always use my beauty blender when it's damp, never when it's dry, because I don't know, I just like the way that my makeup moves around easier for me when my beauty blender is damp. I think I'm due for a new one. So that's me applying foundation onto my plastic hand palette, also by Born This Way in the shade Chai. That one I do remember for sure. I know the shades are Chai for foundation and Mocha and Cocoa for the concealer and the contour. You guys will see if you decide to go get it which one's the darker one. And I just use the whole formula for my whole face. So you see how I'm putting on my foundation and it looks much lighter? That's like I said, I had been out in the sun. But once I bronze and everything, it'll look even again. And I do apply the foundation down my neck and onto my ears and over my eyelids to make sure everything is nice and even. So I try to be consistent, and it looks like I'm really yellow light at this time. I normally have a summer shade too, where I buy a deeper one, but by the time I'm done, it'll make sense. Plus, the light is also shining pretty harshly on my skin. And Instagram Live's camera, it kept doing something to my iPhone camera. But you see where my arm is, where it's a little bit deeper. That's really like the complexion I was at. But my face just looks really light in the light. I hope that makes sense. And I'm just taking my time to blend that whole thing out. You see me keep tapping the screen because for some reason my phone was trying to go dark, which made no sense because I was on IG Live. And I should have put a headband on because I'm getting hair and makeup in my hairline, but I clean that up later. So then I go back in with the concealer after I've blended everything down, and I apply it under my chin. And the reason why I do this afterwards is because if I try to blend it out all at the same time, it won't work. It'll just turn into a mess. And I also, after doing that, I also blend out contour around my chin and around my jawline and the sides of my cheekbones. Which is interesting because I can get away with putting my concealer underneath my shadow. I can get away with putting foundation underneath my foundation. No, that didn't make any sense. I can get away with putting my concealer under my foundation, but I don't necessarily know if I can pull it off doing that with my contour, which is odd, obviously, because it's deeper. I can probably get away with it for like up close, but on camera it probably wouldn't register. But I have been switching up my makeup routine as of late, so there's a new video coming with me explaining that too. So yeah, don't mind me. But the general idea is still the same. So as you can see, I'm also applying the concealer around my hairline. I'm gonna bronze there anyway, but it's just to add a little bit more definition back into my skin so I don't look so one-tone. And you can see the color kind of coming back. I don't look so pale. And then I'm going under my eyes with powder. I believe I was using the translucent powder from Beauty Bakery. I ended up swapping both of those out for a different powder. The Beauty Bakery one is really, really smooth. I really do like it. I've been using it for a while. But I forgot what the reason was why I didn't like it. And I ended up changing it. And I also don't like the NYX baking powder underneath my eyes because I feel like it pulls the makeup apart. It might just be the formula. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. I think the Beauty Bakery makes under my eyes too ashy, too white. It doesn't blend down the way I like. And then now that my whole face is done, then I go back and spray it with the setting spray and blend that back into my skin with the Beauty Blender. That is the secret to making my skin look like skin. You see how now I don't look like I have a bunch of product on? Now my face looks like my face again. Again, courtesy of Jackie Aina, that tip is not my own. But you can see my complexion looks healthy and I haven't put on any highlighter, blush, or bronzer yet. But now I'm going ahead and I'm applying bronzer on my forehead and mainly around my hairline and down to my ears by Fenty in the shade Mocha Mami, to add some of that sun-kissed goodness back into my skin so I don't look so brown, just like one shade brown. Flat would be the color I'm thinking. And I like to bronze around my chin. Yes, I did contour my chin, but I like to bronze it too. It just adds a little extra oomph that I like. And then I went in with the Blush Trio by ABH. I think that's the shade Berry, and I'm blushing my cheeks, just using a poofy brush. And I didn't do the e-girl / kawaii look, I think. I just did it straight on my apples of my cheeks that day. And for highlighter, I actually used this stick highlighter that I had because it gives me control. And I didn't know what I did with my highlighter palettes at the time. So I'm just putting that on my face and blending it out so it doesn't look so harsh. Because again, the focus is skincare. So you see how my cheeks just look a little flushed, a little gold. And I like to apply it in the middle of my eyes, the tip of my nose, on my ears, on my chin, and sometimes on my cupid's bow as well. It just makes me feel like a little fairy, like a little sun-kissed fairy. And I'm even doing it on the brow, my brow bone. Just all the places that you think that will catch light. And this is also a very summer friendly look. It's very hot already, even though it's spring, but I just really enjoy it. So then I'm going ahead and priming my eyelids with the P. Louise eye primer in the shade 4. And this is actually my favorite primer to use. I've tried others in the past and I just don't feel like the colors come out so opaque. And I know some people would be like, oh, you're pretty much using a concealer on your lids, but I'm okay with that. I don't have problems with the color trying to separate. It stays put very nicely. And I like how opaque it is because it gives me the chance to shape the eye the way that I'm looking for. So like that, I just blew it out and did it generally. And that's the James Charles palette, and applying like a brown over my eye. But yeah, I could apply it generally just to give a nice look, because this look was about skin, like I said, not so much the eye being the focus. But because that P. Louise primer is so thick and so opaque, I can apply it and shape it the way I want. So if I wanted something more of a dramatic shaped eye, it really helps me pinpoint and get the eye shape correctly, because I do have hooded lids, and my eyes don't perfectly match. So then I went back in with that James Charles palette and took like a deep chocolatey brownish red, and I applied that to the corners of my eye up throughout my crease. So that brown color went over my entire lid, and I am applying the brown purpley color to the corners of my eyes into my crease. I'm just giving the eye shape, and as you can see, I'm trying to go back and forth between both my eyes at the same time so that they are symmetrical. And I'm also trying to give my right eye the same amount of attention. I am left-handed, so left eye usually gets more of the love. But I'm smoking them both out at the same time. And it looks probably a little muddy to you, or even at the stage if you're doing it yourself, it might look a little muddy. That's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure you're getting that shape in there, because when we put in the highlight, it won't matter. Your eyes are gonna pop. So we just want to make sure there's crease space. So it's a little grayish looking on me, but I promise you it's a purpley deep brown. And then I'm also smoking underneath my eyes. That's also important to make the eye look complete. Don't forget to put it underneath your eyes. I also really liked it because I'm tapping it off and there wasn't a lot of fallout. Like, you saw how I did my skin first, which could have been problematic, but because that's not the focus, I'm not having to worry about like really packing it on in the pan and using a bright color. So, right, you seeing me tap it out, smoking out my under eye and the corner, making sure that they meet so that they're even. And I think I'm pretty successful at it. I like how the look is. Also, I'm trying to make sure I contain it so I don't bring it all the way up my brows. That's why that highlight helped. And also just going back. And it's okay to keep touching it up. So then I took a yellow gold in that Rare Beauty palette, and I'm just smushing it in my inner corners and across that open space, across my lid and under my eye. And I have to say, y'all, that Rare Beauty palette was really smooth. I didn't apply additional primer to make it stick. It's nice and fine. It's not a chunky glitter at all, but it's very, very opaque when it applies, and it's so eye-catching. And I just went back and forth and with touching it up and just dragging it further. I was trying not to put the whole thing on my lids, but you see how it just opened my eyes up? I felt like a little pretty, like a little wasp or something. Now I'm going in with mascara, and I'm doing the bottom of my lashes first. I always do my bottom lashes first. I actually threw that lash mascara out. I hate it because it's really clumpy. So I'm not even going to tell you what it is because I don't even like the brand. But I typically don't wear falsies, so that's why you're seeing me applying a very gracious, friendly, full amount of mascara. I actually clipped out how much mascara I used. And then I'm taking the 420 palette by Melt Cosmetics, and they have this like I don't know how to explain it, like a, not a peach, but like a tan cut, like tan, really 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 pale pink, like shimmer shade. And I applied that on my lids right above the yellow because I felt like it was just like a fleshy color that just added a little bit more. It just pulled the eye together for me. And then now I'm going in and lining my lips in a deep brown lip pencil. I honestly couldn't tell you who it's by because I really don't remember. It might be a MAC pencil in the shade. You know what? Just don't believe me because I don't want to tell you that and I'm wrong. No, actually, you know what? Because I'm putting on a red lip, it might be the MAC pencil in the shade Mahogany, which is like a deep red, and I'm adding on this lime crime color. It's like I think like a brick red. Like it has an orangey, deep brown, red feel. It's really pretty. And I'm just taking my lip brush and blending it out. And now I'm going in and I'm doing my brows. So since I had already brushed them, I'm just applying a little bit of clear gel and some brow pomade by ABH in the shade Chocolate to go fill them in. I really don't like my brows to be made up, so that's really why they don't look, I guess, like traditional trendy brows right now. I just like to fill them in. Like, I think I like my brows shaved naturally, and I like really natural looking brows. I don't like them to be too heavy, but I do like them to have like flicks of hair. So I do go in there sometimes, like if I can get them nice and long, to lay them with the gel properly and fill a couple in. And then you just saw me draw my moles back on because I forget. My makeup covers them. So I have one on the side of my mouth and I have one under my nose. And then I went in and lined my eyes, which I was trying to be very, 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 very careful about because I didn't want to ruin the eye look. Because, you know, one false move and that risk goes a little too high and it's all over. But it actually went really well. I tried to keep it as close to my lash line as possible because eyeliner wasn't really the main part of the show. It was really my skin. I didn't want anything to overshadow. And that is the completed look, y'all. I hope that you enjoy it. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.